let's say I'm walking through the temple like this. The main deity is Vishnu, so when it's straightforward in the middle will be a big idol of Vishnu, and you'll see it. And he's marked because he has an eternal eye on his forehead. It's a big red gash that goes there, so you'll be able to tell. And then on his left is Krishna, on his right is Rama, because those are his two biggest incarnations on Earth. So that's, and then on the far left side will be, so there's like 3 sections of the temple. In the front is dedicated to Vishnu. On the left is Shiva, and there's a Shiva linga, which is basically a phallic symbol. It's really apparent. It's literally just like a black mound.
Well, we'll get more into that when we go on the field trip.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of questions about
Yeah,
this, too.
So what are your traditional dances?
As far as I guess Indian cultural dances, in the south is, in the south is Bharatanatyam. I don't know the northern, I'm South Indian, so I only know the South dance. I don't know the north one. What? No, I can't. Yeah. Yes.
Are arranged marriages a Hindu thing, or is that more just?
So arranged marriages. So arranged marriages and marriage in Hinduism isn't really. It's not just a personal thing. It's a family thing. It is all around the world, but more than ever in India, it's a family thing. So it's considered more of a marriage between 2 families than just a marriage between 2 people. So what happens was back in the old days, especially with the caste system and stuff, you weren't allowed to marry outside of your caste, and your family played a large part in selecting who you married. Nowadays, arranged marriages don't really happen anymore, but still, generally, in India, your parents will be on the lookout, right? So they'll be hey, so and so is pretty hot, and she's well educated. Take a look at her. That's how my parents got married. Their parents knew each other, and they basically introduced. So that's how the arranged marriage kind of it's not arranged at all, really. Nowadays, it's more just a formal setup. But yeah, in the old days, arranged marriages did happen. My grandparents did not. My great-grandparents got arranged marriage. So it did happen. Yeah, he did.
So, the word God,
yeah. So the dot, so it's the third eternal eye, the all-seeing eye of God. So that's what the red dot means. Generally, you'll see by custom, usually young girls only wear it when they go out. Because nowadays it's more like a piece of jewelry than it is religious. People will get really nice ones, really fancy ones. Generally the round red dot that you all love to make fun of so much. Generally that's just a sign that a woman is married, is what it's usually used for. Yeah, Gabe?
Is there concept of morality or sin, right and wrong? How you talking about violence a little bit?
Yeah, so Hinduism is kind of weird. As far as to make it kind of relatable to you, Hinduism is pro-life and it is anti-death penalty. That being said, in practice it really isn't, because most Indians generally tend to be left-leaning, and you'll find many of them are actually pro-choice if you talk to them. And there is no, because Hinduism has no organized body, there is no Book of Hinduism or any council or anything. It's really hard, and because there's no organized service or anything, it's hard for the message of what the scripture actually says to be promoted. If you read the Vedas or the Gita or anything, it makes it extremely clear that abortion is basically the equivalent of killing your parents, according to ancient Hinduism. And so but because of that, you won't ever see stuff like that. Morality-wise, there's this notion. It's basically just the notion of you have to do your duty, and some people believe in karma, the karmic reincarnation process, so that kind of factors in. But yeah, Webs.
All right, so I got one quick question. Is the Hindu temple that you go to the one on Wyman Road?
Yeah.
All right, I was just wondering, because that's right by my
Peter?
Is it a centralized, read the Bible,
So there's no one centralized book. It really depends on what you relate to. Well, the oldest ones are the Vedas. There's 4, I think. The oldest is the Rig Veda. That's the one I like to read from. It has a lot of cool stuff. It's really old. It's kind of like Old Testament-y in a way, but there's a lot of like really good insights, especially like how old that book is. It was actually like passed down by word of mouth before it was actually written down. So that's what I relate to. Some people like the Gita. Some people like there's a books. They're like it's a series of like discussions that were held a long time ago by like ancient sages.